When I started my singing-songwriting career, I was performing in Malaysia, and I would have my chromatic sarung gamelan on stage and try to find my own style that would resonate with my identity and my music. This song, I was very fortunate to collaborate with Sinta Wullur from Amsterdam. She is a Dutch-Indonesian composer, and she has a full chromatic gamelan orchestra in her disposal, which is one of the very, very few in the world.
I started with the classical piano at the conservatory, and after that I learned Japanese gamelan, Balinese gamelan, Indian music and composition. Because of my roots in Indonesia, I was interested in fusion between East and West in music. It is such a great opportunity that I know the Balinese gamelan, because there are so many things what is special and new to the West, the rhythms and the breaks and the interlocking patterns. So I'm really grateful that I have learned all those things from the Balinese gamelan and also from the Japanese gamelan, how to use these instruments, because the chromatic gamelan is from a Japanese gamelan orchestra. She contacted me, let's say half a year ago or more than half a year ago, because she needed a person who can make something on gamelan, and she knows about my chromatic gamelan. The idea was to have something that fits on my gamelan and that fits on her music. The challenge is of course that we are creating music far away from each other. I mean, she's in Los Angeles and now in Malaysia, and I am in Amsterdam.
So we were doing Skype calls at 3 or 4 a.m. discussing about how we were going to incorporate these two worlds together.
And then we started to exchange. I got the ideas, I made it on the samples and I sent it by email, and then she can react on it. And so the arrangements are really characteristic gamelan pieces, and the tonality is adjusted to the song, but it kept the gamelan pentatonic feeling. So there are things inspired by Indian music, like the tans. These are scales, and actually in Balinese gamelan or in Japanese gamelan there are not so many scales, but then here I put some scales. And of course the scales cannot be played on a gamelan when you play and you have to mute all those instruments and it is quick. So we divide it in 2 parts, and because from high to low I divided it in 4 parts, something like that. In the middle part she will have really gamelan solo orchestra, and then added with kecak and Arabic voice. It should be really a sort of cinematic composition. I built the composition up from a song with a little gamelan accompaniment to the more gamelan accompaniment or more gamelan motifs and elements, and ended in the middle part with a really total gamelan orchestra that is that sounds big, that sounds like a great orchestra. We are with 5 people, but we are dubbing every time the instruments, that will be sound like an orchestra of 20 people.
She managed to come up with an arrangement that worked with the tuning of the song and gathered a few of her close musicians to do a recording. And it was just amazing to finally make one of my dreams come true, which is to have a gamelan orchestra in one of my songs. It's been such an amazing experience, and I feel so fortunate to be able to connect with other similar-minded people who are fusing East and West in what they do,